When I was about, as soon as I could talk or walk, I got into cars and started trying to draw cars. As a little kid, my uncle would tell me the names of all the cars. And the next thing is I discovered the hot rod magazines, the little ones. And I started reading those, and I've read those all my life. In the 50s, I was born in 51, so in about 55, I could start looking at pictures and looking at cars. And that's when I found out about George Barris as soon as I could read. From reading the little books and reading about California and dreaming about all that stuff and looking at the car show articles. And so, George Barris was the photographer, and he wrote the articles, and, he had the little how-to articles. And so George Barris has been a tremendous influence on me and everybody else, I think.
Remember the first time you saw a Barris car? Have you ever owned one or wanted to own one?
I've never owned one, but I did win the Barris Custom d'Elegance Award one time at Oakland Roadster Show, which was the highlight of my life. And I got the jacket and the trophy and the whole thing. And actually, as a matter of fact, the car's right in there. It's the 60 Impala.
Really? Okay.
The white one with flames.
Uh-huh.
And but I'm one of those guys that knows all the custom cars that he did in the 50s and 60s, and read them back then, and still have the magazines, and I never dreamed in a million years that I was going to get to grow up and actually meet George.
What do you think, as someone that's getting cars customized today, what do you think about the fact that some of the things that are being done to cars today are the same things that he innovated 40 and 50 years ago? That the styles are still kind of true to things that he started.
Well, I like to tell kids, when you see kids driving down the street in their Honda that's slammed on the floor, with chrome wheels and paint and all this stuff. I mean, it's the same thing that George Barris did to a 36 Ford.
Exactly. Yeah.
And his brother Sam Barris, of course, and all the guys in L.A. and California. And so, it's hard to explain what an influence he had on the automobile industry and all the kids of America, and and all the rock and roll was going on and all that stuff at the same time. And he had those custom cars in the movies, and what I mean. It goes on and on and on and on. And plus, he's such a tremendous promoter of automobiles and of fun.
Right.
And so,
great.
What can you say?
That's enough. That's enough.
I have many, many, many favorite Barris cars. What comes to mind right now is what's the 41 Buick, the really early one, Carson top.
I know. I can picture what you're talking about. I'm not sure what the specific name is.
It's hard to figure out which one you like the best.
Right, but kind of you like that older style.
Yeah, and I like
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite. But I like what he did up in the 60s too, with the Impalas and all that stuff.
Which is similar to what you've got going on behind you.
It's just sort of the LA kind of cruiser. Take a Cadillac and in a Chevy and do all that stuff to a car, which the old folks thought was ruining a car. So
terrific.